Hello and welcome to another stream here on Behance and YouTube. My name is Anna Davis Court. It is so lovely to see y'all have I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I clearly cannot talk today. Wow. Okay, well, I started the stream, so I guess I just gotta figure it out, right? That's how it goes. Well, I am having a great day. I just got back from a walk with James, and we found a second round of berries that have become fruitful once again in the fall, which is like, what? I was not expecting that. So I'm very happy. I just had a fresh raspberry for the first time in a few months, and I'm savoring the taste memory. Nom 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 nom. And the mouthfeel. Honestly, raspberries are just the best. If you had to pick a berry that was going to survive the berry apocalypse, this is something that James just said. It was like a poll somewhere that he saw. So there's strawberry, raspberry, and blueberry. You had to get rid of one. What would you get rid of? It's a hard question, I know. Like, I don't want to answer that. But also, raspberry's at the top for me. I'm sorry, but it is. It just is. We had so many great blueberries this year, but I'm sad to say out of those three, I think I would have to say blueberry. Because strawberries, like, if you've had a great strawberry, there's nothing like it. I also have a lot of like childhood memories tied to strawberries, so that's another thing. If you've ever had a strawberry from the garden, warm from the sun, fresh off the vine, oh my gosh, there's something very special about it. I love it. I don't know why, but my voice is very today, so just get ready for that, okay? I'm going to be emphasizing everything with uhs. Okay, let's get back in. No, let's get into the illustration. Actually, we are getting back. This is a illustration that we started on the last stream. This is an apple picking picture. But honestly, all the apples are missing at the moment because the layer isn't turned on. Let's see here. Oh yeah, this was, if you want to look back, this is one of the colorways that we were working on very early in the process. We decided on this one instead. I believe inside here, yeah, this is the apple layer. So we've got apples in here. I'm still not sure if I want to keep the apples these colors because they're kind of analogous with everything else. However, we could choose to make them a color that's more of a pop, as they say. So that's just up to us. Also, did you notice that there's new stream stuff? Do you see? There's like a box around me and it's all green and it has my name in the corner. How cool is that? I just threw that together fairly recently and I like it. So I'm going to keep it for the mo. Okay. So we've got our top layer that we've been painting on just kind of haphazardly. What I want to do is make sure that this piece doesn't get too tight because I already feel like I'm tightening up on it. So what I want to do is, I think what we're going to use as direction is her. This character in the center I think is close to finished. And so I want to kind of keep that level of finish for the rest of the elements. The dogs aren't fully designed out yet. I feel like they still need some work. Especially it was Irish Wolfhound, I want to say. This big doggo right here. I want to make their fur a lot different, I should say. I think that would work better. And then work on just finishing up some of the details, like putting more stars in the sky, making the leaves really look good shape-wise. I did some over here that are like a little bit more finished quality. I did that in fresco with the pencil brush. And I'm not sure if that's exactly the look I want to go for the final touches, but that's just the way it goes for my paintings, basically. I figure it out as I go. I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze real bad. Hello, Alessandra and Dark Hours. Oh, you came in right as I was about to sneeze, and it's that horrible feeling where it like slowly dissipates, but doesn't have the like end of a sneeze. So, anyways, hi everybody. Thanks for being here. Alessandra getting gold star in the chat for being first and saying hey. Dark Hours saying hello. Not first contact. Come on. No, you say whatever you like. I need my brushes because I've been working with a soft brush. What was I doing? Oh, I was editing some photos for the online website, the store that I started. And so I was doing stuff that I don't usually do. Editing images? Who is she? I don't know. Very exciting stuff for the store, though. I am finally getting together everything that I need for putting up the big spooky parade prints. So if you've ever wanted the spooky parade prints, those will be on the website very soon. The only thing is that I have to figure out is the shipping, because Squarespace is not apparently... A lot of people online have the problem with their shipping options because you can't set specific shipping options for specific items. Instead, you have to do it either by weight or a flat rate. And I have very different things that I need to do. So like the stickers and the postcards are very easy to ship, not a lot of cost, and it's not tracked. But the prints are very big, harder to ship, and they are tracked and everything. So anyways, that's what I'm dealing with, is figuring that out. Boring stuff, you know? Alessandra says, half of blessed you then. Thank you. I'm almost blessed. Dark Hour says, yes, I can't wait for them to come back. Yes, I am restocking the postcard size, so those are 5x7. Those will be here soon. And then I'm also doing the big prints, which are 18x12. They're massive, and I love them. And I hope they do well. I'm gonna have a cool little option for people, which is because the first round of prints came in and they have just the smallest issue with the corner. They got like dinked a little bit, and so I'm gonna have A grade and B grade, and the B grade is very, very small difference, obviously, but I just wanted people to know there is a small, what do you call it, not an anomaly, but like a defect, a small defect with the prints, and that's why I got a second round, because they were not supposed to have those defects. But anyways, I'm very excited to sell stuff. I just saw, it was Natalie Hall. Have you followed her yet? Because, actually, I don't know if Natalie, do they go by they, them? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure, actually, their pronouns. But Natalie Hall does amazing work, and a lot of tattoo work, but also just very beautifully stylized like creatures and pen work and ink work and all that kind of stuff. And so I was looking at the website that Natalie set up, and it was filled with originals. And I've never sold originals. I'm kind of scared, just because the idea of it like getting damaged in shipping or something is very frightening to me. And I definitely have to get that tracked, just so I know like if it disappears. I've had another instance of Patreon mail getting destroyed. Isn't that weird? Robin says, sell them originals. And also, oh, hi there. Hello, Robin. How are you? Thank you. Yeah, the encouragement for original selling is always fun. I would love to sell originals, because it's basically just an excuse for me to make originals, which fun. But also, the recent Patreon mail snafu was Ryan. Ryan Selvey is actually a patron of mine, and he got this envelope in the mail that was from the US Postal Service, and inside the envelope was the destroyed envelope of what I sent him for Patreon. It looked like a whole corner of it got chewed off or something, and he's like, I think a dog ate my mail. But luckily, they told him, which is great, because last time it was just a, what do you call it, like a good civilian that told me that another piece of mail got stolen and ripped to shreds. But anyways, I can obviously replace it and stuff. Ryan will get his goodies. It ain't his fault, okay? I like this green, but I almost want it to be even more cool, which is crazy because it's like basically yellow. But against this orange, it's looking almost like a little candy apple-ish. Yeah, I think I like this green better. Robin says, huh. Yes, huh, indeed. Robin also says, doesn't USPS insure mail? Could you make some claims? It's not insured with basic sending of mail, to my knowledge. I mean, I'm not the most knowledgeable about all these things, but I believe that if you're just sending through, like with a stamp, letter mail, it is just the most basic, hope it gets there. And then if you have it tracked and specifically insured, like you can do that with a shipping label, you can insure it for a certain amount, then yeah, you could have it insured and make a claim. Luckily, I've never had anything that was insured on the way to a person be damaged or stolen. It's always gotten there safely, so that's awesome. Golly, I'm not getting the right color anymore. you? Or maybe I'm just... Sometimes it's really hard to see color against color, like what is the correct one. I thought... Because this one looks so much darker back here, but up here, it's the same color, but it looks so much darker back there. Optical illusions. Sergio says hello. Good night from Spain. How are you all, guys? Doing just great, Sergio. Thank you so much for being here. And how are you doing? How's Spain? What's going on? You having a good night? Robin says, yeah, if you do something like Priority, makes sense. Priority has gotten so expensive, just bumped up to $10.20. Holy heckers. Yeah, that's a lot. When you're considering like all of the... Like if you were ordering from a store, what would make $10+ of shipping worth it? You gotta get something big, I feel like. But a lot of that is just going into the psychology of like the buyer and everything. Not necessarily what's fair to price your stuff at. I think eventually maybe I'll just bump my prices to include shipping for each item. Because that's another solution I came across is like instead of charging for shipping at all, you just work it into the price of the item. Pluses and minuses, I would say. Because say, okay, so I work a dollar more. What my shipping is right now for the sticker mail is $1. So if I put $1 on a postcard and it's like, okay, instead of $5, it's $6 now. And then somebody buys like 4 postcards. That's $4 extra. And 3 of them I don't need for the shipping. And that's just not fair to the buyer, in my opinion. Maybe what I could do is, I'm just spitballing here. Sorry, I'm having a conversation with myself. But what if I made the shipping free on one item? I don't know if I can do that, but try, you know, maybe I could put like a special thing on it and it would be the big prints. And then I could price those prints to reflect the shipping cost in general. Now, what would be best is if I could have like live shipping calculations for each place that it's going to go, because if it's going to, you know, Canada versus the US or something, it might be different. But honestly, I think I should only ship it to the US anyway. Anyways, all of this is to say, I'm trying to figure out shipping for the big prints. Sorry if that bored you to death. Oh, man. Oh, Alessandra's been on bed all day. Oh, I'm sorry, bud. Had inflammation on stomach. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling okay. I mean, at least resting. That's good. Maybe you can watch some really good shows and feel better. What kind of stuff do you like, Alessandra? What kind of entertainment do you watch other than the streams? And then maybe we could recommend you some good stuff to watch. It's really the only upside I can think of when you're feeling ill, is that you get to just like wind down a little bit and rest. Okay, I'm just doing small marks. You know what I need to do? I need to go in with the bristle balm and just kind of work some stuff out. We can work it out. We can work it out. I also need to bring up reference for a Irish wolfhound. Annika's in the chat. What's up? How are you? Annika says, so if somebody orders 4 stickers, you could run a special so that would only charge them once for shipping and directly add it in the cart. If no one's stickers is... What? If no of stickers is less than 1. Number. I know what things stand for. NO is number. If the number of sticker is less than 1 or greater than 1. Greater than 1. Yes, I am reading well. Annika, why do you challenge my brain? So run a special so that I would only charge them once for shipping. If I could set that up, I would be totally into it. I want it to be as fair as possible for everyone. That's all I'm trying for. Annika says, and hence add -3 in the cart. Okay, I like that. And Annika is saying, I was just lurking and thought I could chime in. You're amazing, Annika. Thank you for chiming in. And Alessandra says, I'm watching you, Anna. Lol. Here I am telling you to watch other stuff. Brittany Penn says, hello, this is looking beautiful. Oh, thank you, Brittany. I am just trying to figure stuff out. Hopefully we can finish this guy today, because I feel like it's not that far off from what I want. I don't want it to be super tight, and I feel like the bones are there. What I was gonna do is look up Irish Wolfhound. I know we did this last time, but I forget how things look, and especially how fur lays. I think that fur is a really good thing to study and get good at rendering, especially if you feel strongly about painting or drawing animals. Here's the reference, by the way, Irish Wolfhound. So they have some scruff, like, you know how the longer fur sits at different places, so it's not all exactly the same length. So I'm thinking the face is an important part to get the right flow of the fur. And then it looks like their back haunches and chest have a good amount of floof. Also, a good thing to note is the tail fur. It's not like a super long drapey fur. It's just kind of a, what would you call that? A scrappy in between. So we've got face, chest, haunches, tail. Let's do this thing. I'm going to keep it open so I can keep the character of the dog. I also might shift the color just a bit. I like the color for the piece, but maybe I'll make it slightly more gray because a lot of the reference is very brown gray. Maybe putting some of this lighter toe color? What do you call it? Paw. The little paw color up on the chest, so that we can have a little variation. I love fur patterns and markings, so I definitely want to capture that as much as possible. And then we said face. The face is going to be an interesting one, so we need a more slender snoot, I would say. They've got great character in their faces. They've got like a lot of like little pips. The pips are a little darker than the rest of the fur, which I love. Do you know that the little eyebrows on dogs are called pips? Adorable! Ah! Robin says scraggly. Yes, good keyword. A dog's tail is much more floof and appealing. Well, I want it to be accurate. I think the other tail is just as appealing. I'm gonna kind of thin it out a little bit and have a little more off pieces. It'll still be appealing, because Irish Wolfhounds are appealing. They're adorable. Beep, beep, beep. Just a bit thinner. Then we could have a little bit up here, so it's a little less drapey and a little bit more like it comes out at all angles. Cute. Okay, so I also want a little bit more angle there because the butt's going down. And then the hair of the ears kind of gets mixed with the face a lot. Get rid of that ear. I also want to see, I think they have a dip where the neck would join the head. It looks a little weird right now. Just bear with me. Or dog with me, you know. Their mouths are always open. I feel like that. No, it's okay. We don't have to have it open. Okay, and then the bridge of the nose is also a really important part on all animals, really. There's very subtle differences. I'd say with this one, it's got a slight curve down to the nose. And then the brow ridge is definitely defined by the floof. I love the floof. And then the ears are usually pretty far back on the head. I need like just a different color for the ear. Gonna do like the little, I don't know, it reminds me of like a tortilla for some reason. Floppy ears do. Is that weird? I don't know. Sorry, there's a lot of dogs barking outside. They must know it's a dog day. It's a dog day afternoon. I'm gonna give it some lightness. Oh yeah, it's too late still. Some lightness on the cheeks and down here, because they look like old men, kind of. They have this graying to the face. I love a good old man dog. Just like schnauzers. Schnauzers have a great old man appeal. Should his mouth be open? Maybe this one would have closed mouth and then this one would be like... Is that too much? Oh, it's scary. It's scaring me. It's fine. We'll do without. I'm sure I could work it into actually working, but I don't think we need it. It's fine. It's fine. Brittany says, Pips, I learned something new today. Yeah, that's right. We're learning all sorts of stuff. Brittany says, their fur looks kind of rough, but I've never met an Irish wolfhound. It looks kind of rough. I think they're... I mean, wolfhound. Wolf plus hound all tells me, like, rugged. Brittany says, I knew you were going to say dog with me. Ha 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 ha. Robin says, Scottish Terriers also have great old man vibes. Oh, cute. I love a good old man. I want an old man dog now. Thanks, guys. Something like that. Now I'm gonna design it out a bit more, because right now it's just not appealing shape-wise to me, so I'm gonna just shape it out a little bit. And that is not the fault of the Irish Wolfhound at all. It is my fault as the artist. But we're fixing it, so it's not a fault at all. Yeah? And by shape it out, I just mean, like, seeing what shapes we have and then the reference, and seeing where we can make the shapes a bit more defined and stylized so that they are definitive rather than something that's a little bit, like, wishy-washy. This is an opportunity to create more of a, I don't know, I feel like cartoony is not the right word, but that's what's coming to mind at the mo. Cartoonify it. Because cartoons do a really good job of simplifying complex shapes in an appealing way. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, I think this is much better than it was before. I think that these meaning the, like, the thigh or whatever, this back leg of the dog, needs to be more gradual. They do have more of a barrel chest and a very thin waist, so that's what I'm going for. At least in the reference image that I'm referencing. And a higher ankle. I think what we need is this foot to be separated from the ground, if that's what's happening. Also, how are you guys doing? What's your day been like? Have you been up to anything fun? Are you getting ready for Halloween in any way? Anthony and I worked on our idea for Ryan's Halloween special, which is coming up on the 26th of October. So mark your calendars. Gotta watch that. And it's been so fun just ideating, and we've gotten down to 2 big ideas that we're thinking about. So I'm very excited for either one of them. Whatever we choose, we're gonna film this weekend. Very exciting. Robin says, are there any good old lady dogs? Oh, and Brianna says, Bichon are always old lady dogs, lol. Bichon Frises are lovely dogs, and I can't wait to be an old woman with one. Brittany says there's a cute old anime movie about a talking schnauzer dog that grants wishes. It's called Junkers Come Here. I'm gonna have to look that up. Junkers Come Here. One of my favorite dog movies as a kid, of course, was Lady and the Tramp. And honestly, I don't think that, oh my gosh, I love that schnauzer. I'm very excited to watch that if I can. The things that I loved about Lady and the Tramp weren't necessarily about the two main dogs, but all the other creatures in the movie. The song at the pound where it's like, he's a tramp, he's a scoundrel. Oh my gosh, I love that song so much. And then the beaver that knocks down the trees at the, what do you call it? The zoo. That was, I don't know, there was something in that changed my brain a little bit and I loved it. It was good, yeah. Okay. That's not what I want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Is that how dogs do? What is happening? Does that look okay? I might have to find some specific reference for a leg going back like that. Maybe this isn't as extreme. That's all I have to say about that. Maybe I could just hide it with some grass. If you don't know how to draw something, hide it with grass. This guy now is our mutt du jour, so we could really just design him however we want. I don't have as much problem with his bod, but I feel like his face needs a little bit of work. Maybe it's how his ears connect with his head. Just doesn't look right. And again, I'm all for simplifying, and it does not have to be perfect. It's just much more about making sure that it feels right. Because if it feels wrong, then it is wrong. What if we looked up reference for years? Rin's in the house. What's up with that pumpkin? What are you saying? Robin says, oh, she was a good old lady dog. The one singing He's a Tramp. Oh my gosh, what's her name? I remember her so well, but I can't remember her name. Robin says, as for Halloween, trying to decide what to do. Scare for the Cure interactive obstacle course, haunted house, stay at a haunted hotel. All of those sound amazing. Holy heck, do it all. You can do it all. Robin says, though so many hotels claim to be haunted. Hey, Pumpkin Rin. You're now Pumpkin Rin. That's your name. Yeah. That's awesome. All those ideas. So, haunted hotels. I've been watching Ghost Files lately. If you guys haven't caught on to that. Hey, Alessandra, an idea to watch while you're in bed. So it's from the channel called Watcher, and it's Ryan Bergara and Shane Madej, and they're from BuzzFeed Unsolved, if you guys have ever heard of that. Hey demons, it's me. Or wait, no, it was like, hey ghouls, it's me, ya boy. Something like that. Anyways, so they have a new show called Ghost Files. We've been watching that, and it's basically going around places that are supposedly haunted and trying to gather evidence, straight up just ghost hunting. And I would totally agree. Most places claim to be haunted. I mean, that's regardless of like whether you believe in it or not, honestly, I think, just because any place can say, yeah, that happened here, and it could just straight up be a lie. Whether or not ghosts are real, but it can be a lie about if that thing even happened. So who knows? It could just be from Monday. 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 Mutt dog. Just a little mutty dog. Oh my gosh, we need to give him spots. Oh, there are so many cute spotted little muddy dogs. Oh my gosh, look at this one's ears. Look at those ears. Oh my gosh, they're so good. I love them. So maybe we go like this kind of dog where it's got some floof around the ears but is generally short-furred. I think that would be cute. Hello? There's like a massive truck outside, sorry. Let's see. Brittany says Peg is the singing dog, I think, or was that the singer? I don't know. Peg. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Rin says, if I'm Pumpkin Rin, where's Jake-O-Lantern? I love it. Rin says, how goes? Oh, it's going good. It's hot today. Just came back from a walk. I'm a little sweaty, but we're going to call it glowing. And got some berries from the community garden down the road, which I was not expecting and was a delightful surprise. And Anthony and I are planning on things for Ryan's Halloween special. So that's exciting. I'm also busy as all heck. Might have some new work coming in. Excuse me. And also, sorry, I'm trying out this color. I don't think it'll work. But maybe for the spots. Maybe we do some light spots. Is that a thing? Can you do light spots, or is it always dark spots on the light? Anyways. The marketing for my book that's coming out in February is also happening right now, which means that I have a lot of work to do regardless of what I'm doing. Oh, and then of course on Friday, I'm going to be hosting Pro Tips on Adobe Live. So you guys come around at 2 p.m. Pacific time on Adobe Live, and you will see me giving pro tips from this person who you know you want to listen to. Go blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be all about Gaussian blur. So if you've ever wondered how Gaussian blur can help your workflow, then tune in on Friday. Anyways, how are you, Rin? You having a good day? Robin says, ooh, we should all do Halloween names. Ooh, I like the idea. Floof ears are a very good choice. Robin. Gobrin, like a goblin. Rin says, ooh, nice, so Gaussian. Brittany says, wow, you're busy. Yeah, it's a busy time. I feel like there are just ebbs and flows in the year, and right now is a flow. I want that to be warmer. So I gotta go with our base color and then work from there. Not that dark. Also, I've been, well, I don't know if it's actual work I should be doing or if it's procrastinating or whatever, but anyways, I've been working on another sweater that I'm crocheting, so that's been happening. And James and I have been watching a bunch of heist movies in the background at night. So we got through Oceans 11, 12, and 13, and then listened to The Italian Job last night. Which, The Italian Job, I remember being more fun than it was. Like, I thought of that as a good heist movie, but after watching Ocean's 11, everything else kind of pales in comparison. But if you guys know any really good heist movies, let me know, because I want a good, fun, jaunty feel. Like, low violence, but fun, like, suspense, high stakes. I like that. Rin says, it feels like we were doing the spooky parade just the other day. Time passes and it's weird. Robin says, I just get Robin and I to portmanteau Robin and Goblin. With an eye to portmanteau. Yes. This is how we do it. We just, try. That's all. Rin says, but also, wait, what was it? Spooky parade the other day, but also does not. It's surreal when you analyze the ebb and flow of time, though. I am right there with you. It is impossible to understand what time is and how it works because it just never sticks. Never sticks. And I feel the same way about Spooky Parade. Part of that is because I worked on it a long time ago, but then I finished it fairly recently because there was one part of it that was really bugging me. It was the witch in the upper left corner, and I was just trying to make that work before getting it done. Done. Alessandra says, did you watch Ocean's 8? I have not. I have not seen that, I don't think. Brittany says, like, Bad Guys heist movie? I want to see Bad Guys so bad, but I think it's on a streaming service that we don't have, unfortunately. Robin says, Halloween name Robin. I mean, Robin Goblin. Gobblerin. Robin the Bank. Robin, like you're raw, like meat. Is that scary enough? Is that Halloween? No. Robin. Robone. Eh? Bone? Skeleton? Yeah. Rin says also somehow it's already time for midterms. I mean, what? You just started in August. It's October. What? How is that midterms? Yeah, I don't understand that. But also, good for you. Good luck on midterms. Woo, woo, woo. I know you're going to do great, so no worries. But also, what was I going to say? Rin is the mastermind behind many name puns. So really we should be looking to Rin for all this. Because she knows what she do. Is that... Let's make it more of like a this. Sorry, I'm working slowly on this, but that's the reality of being an artist, okay? We're not all really fast. And some days I'm fast and some days I'm slow. It's just the way it is. Is it weird to put some hair floofing out? Yeah, I think so. I think keeping it simple like that will be fine. I'm not sold on the colors, but at least we got some work done on it. I think that's good. And the dogs are looking equally shapy now, which is much better than it was before. Alessandra says, mine is Creative Wolf. Oh ho ho. Also, lol, I watched Ocean's 8 because Rihanna is in it and it's all women. Oh, that one. I remember vaguely hearing about that. But I don't know. I was wondering for both movies, the Ocean's series and then also the Italian Job, if they pass the Bechdel test at all. Which I don't think, especially the Italian Job, I do not think they do. They have a lot of hardcore stereotypes going on in that movie. Brittany says, I'm in an ebb right now, but trying to decide if I want to bite the bullet and relocate just because I want to, but emailing the apartments makes me want to hide under my covers, lol. I totally understand. Yeah, the moving is a challenge. I feel ya. Because I'm in that same boat of like, I would desperately love to get a bigger place, but actually finding it and making it work is like near impossible. So I'm sorry, nothing but sympathy to you. I offer nothing in terms of advice or help or anything. It's just unfortunate. Although eventually, you know, you end up moving. That's okay. I usually find, at least this is like a blanket statement about my anxiety about things, the second I do them, I'm like, oh, that wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was. 9 times out of 10, whatever I'm thinking about doing that gives me anxiety, not as bad as it actually seemed to me. Now, that doesn't really help. It doesn't make you not feel anxiety about things, but at least there's like a little light at the end of the tunnel sometimes where I'm like, I know I'll feel better and it will be so much nicer and it won't be that bad. Not as bad as I think, right? I'm constantly trying to like simplify the way I render things, and I'll tell you what, my natural instinct is to not. My natural instinct is like, what is reality? Stick to it. But I don't like looking at that kind of stuff, and I don't like painting it either. I love painting stylized. Like, look at her. Her legs, the anatomy, there is no anatomy. There's no like, oh, here's the calf and here's the thigh or anything like that. And yet the dogs have thighs and calves. So I need to work on still just stylizing down more and more. Rin says, I mean, Robin was a pretty good meshing of Robin and Goblin. Roblin. There we go. But would you hear Roblin and think, oh, what a spooky name. Kendall's in the chat. What's up? Saying, hello, hello. Popping in between naps. I'm so glad that you got the juice and also that you're napping. Rest, 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 please. Brittany says, thank you. Haha. A jack-o'-lantern at the end of the tunnel. Exactly. Kendall says, looks beautiful so far, Anne. I love the colors. Thank you. It's very Halloween, that's why I want to get it done so that I can like have it out in time for people to enjoy it around Halloween time. Alessandra says, that's how anxiety works. You kind of have to work with your thoughts and challenge them. Tip from a therapist. Exactly. Give us all the tips, Alessandra. Brittany says, she's a pumpkin who says she needs calves. She's got roots. Exactly. Robin says, right, her head also is a pumpkin. Yeah, exactly. Not a pimpkin, a pumpkin. I mean, who needs knees when you're a pumpkin head? Oh yeah, this is one thing I wanted to paint, is the leaves. I got no roots and mom was never on the ground. I think I want this one to go, like, be cupped up towards the sky, kind of thing. I'm just gonna kind of make up the pumpkin leaves because I have a general idea what they look like. Because I painted a whole book of pumpkins. If you haven't seen that, it's called I'm a Little Pumpkin from Simon & Schuster. And it's out now. And it's very much cute. Very, very much cute. The crows are going outside, so if it sounds like there's an alarm going off, it's just my crow alarm, you know? It's crow o'clock. Cute. You're a cute little lady. Do you know that? So cute. Little overlaps of color and shape. Just the tiniest bits. And they tell you all you need to know about a form. Crazy. I'm making these a little bit like blocky and stuff, so I like that. Rin says, Anna, I requested that our library purchase your books. That's so nice of you. Aw. Is that our library? Like we share the library? I should be doing that. But thank you, Rin. That's really nice of you. Yeah, I need to get more into the library scene so that I can suggest things like that and talk to librarians and all that stuff. I'm going to do the same thing with this one as over here, but I'm going to show a little bit more of the top part of it, if that makes any sense. It will in a mo. Kind of like that, but I want this one to angle differently. Oh, and we gotta put like a hole in one of them, obviously, because she ain't perfect. None of us are. Got little holes in our little leaves. Also, I want to redraw this stem. I want it to go down more. Yeah, like that. Kendall says, alrighty, I'm ready for a nap. I'll catch the replay. Booster side effects of fatigue got me today. I am so proud of you for getting your booster, and I promise the fatigue will pass. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great nap. Oh, Alessandra asks, Anna, do you think it would be weird if my Halloween name is Creative Wolf or Spooky Wolf? It is not weird to be a wolf at all. Please name yourself whatever you prefer to be named. Creative Wolf, Spooky Wolf, Danger Wolf, Upside Down Wolf, Water Wolf. Is this like dragons, the elemental ones? Electric Dragon, Fire Dragon. I would be probably Water Dragon. I always wonder this about, like, you know, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which element you would be. It's a classic question. A classic conundrum. So, I think I would be, after much deliberation, Earth. But, I would want to be water. But what you are and what you want to be. Are they different? I don't know. Guess it's up to the asker. I'm zhuzhing this leaf, but it's not very big, so you guys probably couldn't see. Sorry. So yeah, the like top part up here is showing more of it than on this one. That's what I meant. Let's see. Alessandra says, well, I think I'll stick to Spooky Wolf. I don't think Upside Down Wolf works with my vertigo. Very clever. Understandable. Oh, man. Beep, beep, beep. Boop, 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 bop, bop, bop. I don't know what my spooky name would be. I've never really made one. I know that some people on Twitter like to make their names on there like the spooky version of their name. But again, it comes down to, is it recognizable just by reading it? Like, do you still understand who that person is? Anna, Banana, Fontana, Cannibal, Animal, and the Maniacs. Maybe Davis Court would have something? Davis Court. Davis. Nope. Trying to come up with something and literally nothing is coming to my mind. Ha. Oh well. Sometimes it just don't work. Maybe this is why I haven't come up with spooky names in the past. I tried and failed. Let's see. Robin says, what did you base your answer on? Are you Earth because of your zodiac sign, or... I think it's mostly what I'm most attuned to in life right now, like in this life. I feel like I'm more of like a plant, tree, earth person than like being out on the water. I think of like a seafaring folk or something like that, like water people. Obviously the water tribe in Avatar: The Last Airbender, they're at each pole, so they're also like icy, and I would not be able to sustain myself in those environments. And then fires out, I'm definitely not like a flame on kind of person. I do have a temper for sure, but it's not the same as being like a firebender. Although at the heart of it, I think firebending, I mean, in the show at least, they describe it as like life. It is essence of things, and I love Iroh. Like, if I were a firebender, I would want to be Iroh style firebender. Oh my gosh. And then airbenders, yeah, it's like the goofy monks. And you got to be able to like flow with things really well, which would be a great lesson to learn, but I don't feel like it's necessarily where I start at, you know, like what your essence is. That's what I'm going for. But feel free to correct me if you think I'm wrong. This is all just, you know, trying to guess. It's definitely not a science. It's an art. And obviously, the most important questions. But yeah, time off. What would your bending type be if you were to be a bender? Bender. What's in a bender ball? I love putting striations on things, like branches, trees, all that stuff. They're just so fun. Having them kind of undulate towards and away from each other. Trying not to make them too parallel. It's good stuff. And adds so much twist to something that's otherwise flat. Anthony Jackson in the chat. What's up? saying, I'd be the avatar. I'd rather bend all the elements. Well, that's not a fair choice. Come now, Anthony. And I guess the point is that you don't have to be a certain personality type to be a certain kind of bender, because they make sure to make all the bending types of people well-rounded. Like, anybody could be born into any nation. So you could be any kind of bender and any kind of personality. So it really doesn't have much to stand on. It's just a fun thing to talk about. Brittany says, Anna David Spook. Anna Dracula's Court. Oh my gosh, I love it. Anna Dracula's Court. Yes, I'm Anna Dracula's Court. Brittany says, can I bend plants and just grow food whenever I'm hungry? That would be great. I think your name would be Isabella, and you would be from Encanto. Robin says, dang it, Anthony, you beat me to it. Just master all the elements. That's what I choose. That's cheating. How dare you? Have you, anybody, I think Anthony Jackson in particular would like them, but if anybody's read the Avatar Kyoshi books, there's also one about Yang Chen, and I read the Kyoshi books, and Anthony's reading the Yang Chen book right now. Those are previous avatars, if you don't know, in the Avatar The Last Airbender universe, and I really enjoyed the Kyoshi ones. I thought they were quite well done. So if you have not read them, Anthony, I think you should. Anthony Jackson. Not other Anthony. Too many Anthonys. Anthony Jackson says to Brianna, that actually a waterbender technique. Wait, what was it? Brianna's talking about something? I don't see one. Oh, were you trying to tag Brittany? Bending plants to grow food? But it's a water bending technique, apparently. I don't know if this is actually what's happening. I'm just deciphering what the chat is saying. Robin says, I'd be an airbender that would be super self-conscious about not looking like a typical airbender. Oh, please describe how you would achieve this. I want to know everything. By the way, I made her pupils this purple. It was actually at the behest of James, my partner. He said that they looked like they were blending in quite a bit with the pumpkin. I think we have... No. Yeah, see, like that. It was orange before. Now it's a little more separated. So I think that works better too. So I just want to clean these up a little bit, especially because they're the focal point. Leave a little bit of that orange peeking through in the pupils though. It's fun. Alright, I think she's pretty much done. I mean, the apple and the legs and stuff could still use work, but like her head is good. Her head is good. Would you like somebody to say that about you? Your head is good. Boom, someone said it. Rin says, now I'm trying to think of a cozy, spooky way to combine my name with a will-o'-the-wisp. Oh my gosh, Rin of the Wisp. Brittany says, ooh, interesting. Oh yeah, and Anthony did mean to tag Brittany. Rin says, I'm behind on the conversation vibes. Oh, we're talking about Avatar The Last Airbender and what element you would bend, but really, it's whatever you want to talk about. Robin says, haha, I would not shave my beautiful hair off. That can be arranged. I'm down for that. Beautiful, long-haired airbender. I mean, come on. You're flowing in the wind, your hair's whipping around. You could control how your hair whips around. Oh, so cool. I'll make sure these are lovingly laid out, little sparks coming out of her eyes. That's good. Cute, 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 cute. Let's work on some stars. Why not? It's so funny, but these are the things that get me through a project. When I'm like looking around and I'm like, oh, I finished a task. If I just am like, all right, I'll take care of this one little thing. And usually that's what gets me to the end of things, is like doing all the little boring bits randomly and like in small spurts helps me get through them so that I'm not like, oh, and then I have to do this boring thing and this boring thing, this boring thing. I'm just kind of like, okay, let's paint on her head, which is like one of the main focal points of the piece. That's fun. That's interesting. Then let's do the stars, and then we'll do another main piece, and then we'll do another little boring piece. Not that stars are inherently boring, I'm just saying. They're a little less interesting than the main character's face. And a little less important, so I don't have to be super precious with them. But I do want them to feel equally spaced out and that none of them are super awkwardly placed or cut off. And that goes for doing children's books as well, is like, there are plenty of pages where you're just like, ugh, the boring one. Or like, this one isn't really my fave, but I gotta get it done. Then you have to have a mindset that'll get you through it. I kind of want like a really thin light line back here where the field meets the sky. This is an ethereal plane where the sky is just like, oh, horizon line, sky. Like that. Anthony Jackson says, shaving your head is actually a personal choice. It's true. Anthony says, okay, Anna, if I had to choose an element, I'd be a firebender. Flameo, Hotman. I'm sure we've talked about this before, but I love when you, like, know, when you're just like, oh yeah, I would definitely be this. I would desperately want to be either a waterbender or airbender, I think. Just because I find those so appealing in just the way of life of like, okay, I could like walk on water or like go on. Oh man, that would be so cool. If you could go underwater in your own little air bubble. Would you have to be an airbender or a waterbender to do that? I think both of them could. But basically making your own little submarine to go under and explore underwater. That to me would just be magnificent. Especially if you are a waterbender, then you would be able to like water bend away like any threats. So a shark's coming at you and you're just like, the current is against you suddenly. Obviously you'd have to be pretty powerful and all that jazz, but I desperately want to be underwater at a lot of times, but I also want to feel completely safe. And, you know, it's hard to do that when you're not a waterbender. Then same with airbender. I desperately want to fly. I want to be up in the air, and you get to do that. Like Aang's gliding. Oh, what a life. What a life. Also Sky Bison. Amazing. Anthony Jackson says, I'm still reading The Shadow of Kyoshi. I wanted to reread The Rise of Kyoshi, but Yang Chen came out. So, okay, I'm glad you're on it. Robin said, I think air and water both can. In fact, for episode Serpent's Pass, Aang and Katara work together to do that, I think. For the underwater traveling. I have to go back and watch. If it's the last season, I have seen that one the least. I mean, I've seen all of the seasons, including all the Korra and everything, but I have rewatched the first few seasons of Airbender so many times. So many times. Robin says, yeah, the underwater bubble thing. I'm so glad they explored that, because all of the ways of traveling the world are honestly some of the most interesting stuff that I think that benders can do. That's why James loves the idea of being an airbender, but specifically one of the sandbending tribes where they traveled the desert by bending the sand on those rafts. So cool. Okay, so I think those are pretty well spaced out, the stars over there. So now I'm just gonna kind of blot around a few so that I can space them correctly. Want a bigger one here. Boop, boop. Boop. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to step back a little bit and look at that. Dark Hour says, after thinking about it, I reckon I'd be an earthbender. Think of the sculptures I could create. Exactly. Exactly. So, earthbending, not only could you make sculptures, you could make homes, you could terraform, you could do so many amazing things with earthbending. Even more so than I think the show shows, just because a lot of it is obviously based around the fighting aspect of things, and I think that's just the like tip of the iceberg, maybe literally, of what you can do with bending powers. There's so much potential. I guess they show like the water benders, how much they can build in the northern temple. It's like an entire city made out of ice. So cool. Did I say air temple? Water temple. I don't know what I said. I don't remember anything. What are you talking about? Alessandra says, yeah, Dark Hours, exactly. Same here. Brittany says, water bending the tea straight to my mouth so I don't have to get up. Truly. Also, cleaning would be so easy, says Dark Hours. Just like gather the dirt. If it could work that way. I am not sure how it would actually work. Alessandra says, I don't think sandbender would be for me, but I get things I get things easily in my mouth and glasses if you get sand in my eyes. But then you'd be able to get the sand out, right? You'd be like able to just control it. Rin says, every time you say Brittany, I hear Rennie. And I'm like, I said what now? Sorry, Brittany Rennie. And then I see, and realization hits. And then the face. Sorry, Rennie. I didn't mean to confuse you there. I mean Brittany. I mean Rennie. Sorry. I feel like I want one of these to be placed differently. Yeah, maybe just one less. Yeah, I think that feels better. Assessing. Okay, I'm gonna work on the texture of the grass back here a little bit. Which I think you might have to go hunting for brushes. We could lay down a base of texture and then we could go hunting. I know that I love the some of the texture brushes that are in Fresco, so I could go use those. It's always a useful thing. But I also love finding new things. So like taking the opportunity when it comes along, I think saves a lot of time for, you know, if you find yourself in a project where you're like, oh, actually, I don't have time to look for these brushes. Well, you already took the time on your personal work, so now you just have them. It's so fun to paint texture, but it's really hard to describe what about it I'm looking for. Basically just the essence of trying to feel something out, which is totally unhelpful. I don't want things to look too blocky. I want them to like blend, but not to the point where there's no marks. Just the right amount of marks, if that makes sense. Ibrahim knows what I'm talking about, saying hi, everybody. But also, Ibrahim's work is very textural and very beautiful. You should definitely check out his page. And yeah, trying to get that right amount of texture and marks into your work is definitely a fine balance. Erin says, also loving the contrast in this painting. The colors are so lovely. I'm so glad. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, this one has been really fun to work on so far. which is always a good sign. If it's painful to work on, usually a bad sign. What are you guys working on right now? Do you have any pieces that you're in love with or in hate with? Anything that you can talk about? Or is it all NDA? I also like it mixed in with some of these vertical brush marks. I'd like to get more of those in. Maybe I'll see if I can do that right now, or if it's not the right point in the process. I think it could work, as long as I don't paint over too much of the texture that we just put down. Trying to kind of mimic grass, but in a little bit more of an abstract way. Let's see. Robin says, working on characters for a friend's musical that he's pitching soon and entering into competitions. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Rin says, hey, Dark Hours, I feel like it's been forever. Dark Hours says, it has been. Life has been hard. Hey. I'm sorry, Dark Hours. I'm sorry that life's been hard. Always glad to see you here, darling. But yeah, it's understandable. Life gets busy. That just reminds me of The Incredibles. And got busy. Ibrahim says, I made drawings from a prompt for my follower. I made drawings from a prompt that my followers gave me yesterday on my personal account. Had a great time making it. That is awesome. I'm gonna definitely check that out. Also, having your followers like chime in, isn't that lovely? Just having like a little collaborative moment. It's so good. I'm glad you did it. Anthony Jackson says, currently making an agenda for my class and making a rainbow character. A lot to work on. Oh my gosh, agenda for your class? Agenda? And Rin says to Dark Hours, no, I hope life gives you a break soon. And same, I just had free time open back up here. But I had another job interview today and we shall see what happens. How many jobs are you gonna have, Rin? Is this your 7th job? Oh, and Dark Hour says, maybe I need to have an Incredibles rewatch marathon. That's never not a good idea. Hey, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but like, Edna mode. Alright, I'm gonna save my work, and we are past the time of monkey paws. Ooh, let's do it. Oh yeah, I made the screen solo, so now I can do a monkey paws with y'all in my fancy little getup. Okay, so if you are new here, monkey paws is a hand stretch that we do together, so I'm going to guide you in the movements, so just follow along with me. What we do is we start with our arms straight out in front of ourselves, fingers to the sky, palms away, and then we curl them into what we call a monkey paw. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Rennie says, what's that, friends? It's time for monkey paws? And then we put our fingers to the ground, palms towards ourselves, and curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Great job, great job. Then we flip our hands out, palms away, fingers down, curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Good job, good job. And then last pose, we put our fingers to the sky, palms towards ourselves, and then curl them in. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. And we just repeat these poses, holding for about a second, around 10 times, so that we get a nice stretch in our wrists and our tendons. And if you feel any pain whatsoever, just feel free to rest your hands and ice them so that they can heal. And if you want to try any other exercises, you can Google 5 million different ways to give yourself a nice stretch, because really the goal is here that we're just going to take care of our hands, because they do so much for us and we want to take care of them. It's also a really good reminder to just drink, maybe close your eyes if you've been looking at screens, give them a rest. Maybe move your body around so you're not sitting for too long at one time. Just anything you can think of to give yourself a nice little break. Oh, Anthony Jackson says he's a creative mentor now for high school students in graphic design. That is so cool. If I don't make an agenda, I'm going to forget and come with a last minute schedule. That's not what the students need. I totally understand. Yeah, that is, it's the pressure of being a teacher. You got to know what you're doing. But also I have all the trust in you. You know what they would get use from, and just making yourself available is a huge thing. So great job. Great job. Let's see. Robin says, oh man, I can't believe I didn't think of this. Do you have any recs for submitting a book to publishers? I illustrated a book and went on a publisher binge in August, but always looking for more. Recs for recommendations for submitting a book to publishers. I would say, see, the hard thing is I've never really had to submit to publishers. Usually the way it goes for me is my agency brings me a proposal from a publisher or art director, and they say, okay, we have this book, it's already written, we want you to do the illustrations, and then we negotiate back and forth. So the publisher's already a part of it. If you're pitching an entire book, like it's a book dummy or a query or something like that, there are many resources out there that are much better than me. I'm definitely not the person who knows a lot about that, but I would recommend checking out some talks that SCBWI has put on before, and anybody who is in the publishing space. I've gone to a few talks at the SCBWI conferences about querying, and it is, as far as I understand, an art form to give just enough of a hint to be like, hey, here's what this book is about. Are you interested? And then if they are, they come back and want to know more and all that stuff. I guess the biggest piece of advice that I always get when talking about stuff like that is make sure that your book is fully edited and like what you want it to be before you bring it to a publisher. But about finding publishers, I guess just talking within the community. Twitter is a really good place to find a lot of different people in the kidlit industry. And so they all talk about these things. They're like, I think it's monthly or weekly discussions that take place about different topics, and some of those topics might overlap with what you're thinking, like how do I query to a publisher or something like that. And the big way of finding a lot of those things is just following other people in the industry. So if you find somebody with children's book illustrator in their title and you like their work, you should definitely give them a follow. I can give some recommendations from my Twitter if you're interested, but I don't know if you are, so just let me know. Let's see here. Brittany says, look at those monkeys. Okay. All right, once we're done with our hand stretches, we're going to just shake them out loosely, gently to loosen them back up. I'm going to definitely wiggle my legs a little bit because I've been sitting too long. I'm going to stand up. You can see my newt, or salamander. This is from Fawnwood, who is an artist in Eugene, Oregon. Okay. And then I'm going to do some shoulder rolls to loosen those up. And then we're going to do a few neck stretches. So we put our ear as high as we can on one side. And then we flop over to the other side. And then back again. And then back again. Then look to the right. And then the left, as far as is comfortable. And back again. And one more time. Woo! Oh, I'm sweaty. But aren't we all? You know, it's a state of being at this point. Alright, so Robin is saying, I'd love some names. So I'm just going to real quick go through my Twitter and see if I see anyone who stands out as a person. Well, Portfolio Day just happened. So that was a really great opportunity to see a bunch of kidlit illustrators and follow along with their artwork. So maybe finding your peers in the industry, maybe making some friends. And so check the tag hashtag portfolio day and you will find a ton of work. Also, hashtag kidlit and kidlit art are really good ones. That's KIDLIT, kidlit. Those are great tags to look through if you want just a plethora of great people in it. Let's see here. I follow a lot of artists, so sometimes it's hard to know exactly who's in children's books and who's in other ones, other industries, because they all blend together. A lot of people who work in illustration also work in animation, also work in magazines, all that stuff. Here, let's go to Big Face. Hi. I was thinking of someone who regularly posts some stuff, though. I need to find her name. Aha. Debbie Ridpath Ohi. Their tag on Twitter is called Inky Elbows. INKYELBOWS. Inky Elbows. And she has so much great things to listen to and check out, and also just recommendations about how things in the industry are going. So definitely I would recommend checking her out. Look at this. Accountability update. See, this is another great idea. Is like if you need it. Oh wait, you're not seeing my screen. Sorry. I wasn't showing you. Sorry. I was just scrolling down her account. So this is her. Inky Elbows. Debbie Ridpath Ohi. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. But I was just saying she has apparently an accountability update, which is a great thing if you're writing, to give yourself some kind of accountability, because man, it's hard to write when nobody's watching. So anyways, that is my just a few on the top of my head recommendations for you. Okay, there we go. I hope that helped, Robin. Robin says I got a tab open for her. Thanks. And also there's a Discord called Kidlit 2, says Brittany. Oh man, I gotta get in there. And also Brittany says, any art portfolio advice for getting the attention of agencies? Perhaps any sort of illustration you did that caught your agency's eye? That is a really good question, and one I can answer a little bit more. So portfolio advice in general, I would say for children's books, there are a few key things that they look for, which at least so I've heard. This is not always, as basically as with anything in art, it is not a rule, it's a guideline. It's something to start with, but definitely not a you have to kind of thing. Which is funny, because actually Cody Bear was just talking about it this morning when she was with Voodoo Val on Adobe Live. I saw her talking about how she's been looking for an agency, and many agencies have been turning her down, not because they don't love her work. They love her work. It's beautiful. She's super professional, beautiful layouts, everything. But she basically only draws animals as characters, never really humans. And so they say, we would love to have you, but can you draw more human characters? And she's taken to heart the advice of like, if you don't want to draw it, you shouldn't put in your portfolio, which is great advice, because it's true. If you're going to be hired for a book that's all human characters and you don't want to draw humans, then you're going to be stuck doing a book of humans. So it's really down to sticking to your guns when you're really passionate about stuff like that. Now, if you are like, oh, I'd love to draw anything, I just want to draw, then yeah, there are a few blanket things that could be in your portfolio. One of them is children. Children are going to be the bread and butter of the children's book industry. You're going to draw kids. You could do human, you could do animal. Like, that's a very Cody Bear thing, that she just loves drawing animals. But I would say as much diversity as you can get into your characters, the better, because we want more diverse books on our bookshelves. And if you can bring any of your own experience into that, that's awesome. But also I could go into a huge caveat of own voices, but diversity is needed regardless of who you are. You should draw diverse characters. Now, telling diverse stories is mostly, we leave that up to people who have had those experiences, but draw diverse characters. Anyways, that's my thing. On top of that, I would say having layouts that are designed like a children's book, so leaving space for text, having layouts that draw the eye from one page to another, maybe even a layout that shows the edge of paper as being something you want to turn, like trying to make an illustration that's a page turner, which means that when you're reading the book, you want to keep going. It ushers you forward, that kind of thing. And then on top of that, I would say spot illustrations are a good thing because a lot of children's books have spot illustrations, which if you don't know, they're illustrations that stand on their own on a white page. So they're like kind of floating. They can be many different things in terms of subject matter and framing. So some of them are like a vignette, like you see a room and a character in it, but it fades away at the edges, and you could place it anywhere on a white page and it would look at home. Other ones are like a dog and there's no background. It's just a dog sitting there, and that's a spot illustration. All that is good stuff. I would recommend personally, I like to see, and I've heard people say it time and time again, characters interacting is also a good thing, so that you can show basically that you can do that, because it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to have characters interacting. Some people will have more of a character design portfolio and say it's a children's book portfolio, but really the difference there is putting characters in story moments rather than just having characters there. You want to show something about them happening. You want to show that they're not just letting the world be there. They're doing something or having some kind of say in it. A good example of this is like kind of, if you think of Surreal Images, like, what was his name? The one who did The Sweetest Fig and Zathura. Oh, golly. I'm blanking on his name, but it's like a really well-known illustrator. I believe he did a series of illustrations that were kind of surreal, where it was like a mundane image of a room, like a hotel room, and it's totally like just normal. But then you notice, oh, the wallpaper has these birds on it, and the birds are coming off of the wallpaper and flying through the window. And it's like suddenly surreal. Instead of it just being a room, it is otherworldly. It is something different. And that kind of thing can bring a lot of interest and story to your piece. So it's not necessarily that like, oh, the kids are running. Where are they running to? It doesn't have to be action. It just has to be something that the viewer sees and their brain puts together the pieces, if that makes sense. Brittany's coming in clutch and saying Chris Van Allsburg. Chris Van Allsburg is the one I was talking about. Yes. Here, let me see if I can find some of his surreal images. If he is even the one who did these, because Van Allsburg. Because I could be totally misremembering. There we go. I'm gonna do Surreal Images. Also, Surreal Images, speaking of which, what is happening? I accidentally opened something that I did not want to open. This is great. Let's say Surreal Images. Surreal Images. These were used as, yes, it is correct, writing prompts in my schooling days. Oh, maybe not. Wait, is it? There's so many cool ones. He also did the Polar Express. I love this one so much. The like house taking off like a rocket. That's so cool. I think that's from Zathura. Is it? The Mysteries of Harry Burdick. A nun just hovering through the hallway. Come on. So good. Oh, this one. Yes, I think this is the one. Okay, so it's the Mysteries of Harry Burdick. I remember my, I think it was in 5th grade, they used all these series of images, these surreal images, as writing prompts for all of us. So they would say, all right, here's an image, write a story based around it. And it was so much fun. I love that stuff. Oh my gosh. So yeah, anyways, I don't know where I was going with that necessarily. I guess just storytelling in one image. It doesn't need to be a series. Sometimes one image can tell so much story, and it does not have to be a complete story for your portfolio. It doesn't have to tell a narrative. It just needs to show that you can tell a story. Anyways, those are specifically for children's book illustration. If you're thinking of portfolios for any kind of industry, I would highly recommend making it a specific portfolio for that industry, meaning think like you would want your employer to think. If you want to do something specific, then you gotta show you can do that specific thing. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. And if you have any further questions, please let me know, because I love talking about this stuff. I think it really it helps me too, because I feel like it's always a moving target. The perfect portfolio or whatever. And even if it were perfect, then you would want it to be more recent or more more stylistically satisfying, whatever. So it's never really done. It's just do, as Lee would put it. Gotta replace all these candy apple greens. Get thee gone. I think I got them all. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna do this kind of texture work over on the right side now. Why did our music stop? Is it just me? It's not just me. Ugh, something weird is happening. It shows that the desktop audio is doing something, so I'm not sure what's happening. Anyways, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fine, it's fine. Brittany says thank you. You're very welcome. Anthony Jackson says thank you for the advice on portfolios. You're very welcome. I mean, that's like tip of the iceberg also. I feel like portfolio advice could go on for days, being more and more specific. What is happening? There we go. Okay. But yeah, I love seeing people's portfolios and all of the different I guess progress that can be made in a very quick amount of time if you know what you should be making. Like, one piece can completely transform a portfolio and show that you have the skill set that this person is looking for. I mean, it's a strength and a weakness of the industry, is like, sometimes it's infuriating to feel like, oh, I just needed this one piece and then they would hire me, versus like not doing it otherwise. But it really is down to, don't make them work for it. Don't make it up to their portfolio, or sorry, don't make it up to their imagination to fill in the blanks of what you can and cannot do. Just show them that you can do it. Robin says, once upon a time you gave me a portfolio review, Anna. Really? Did I, in like person? I don't remember this, but I don't remember most things I do. You guys want to see a blast from the past? Let's see here. I think I have a portfolio on my Behance page that's real old. And I don't think that they're necessarily, like, whatever's on my Behance page isn't technically my portfolio, I don't think. It's just what I threw together as, like, this is work that I have. But it's still crazy, because the old stuff, it just feels so old. So this is my Behance page. Got naked people, so I'll avoid that one. Sketch dailies. Portfolio 2016. Let's check it out and how different it is. So this actually is a piece that I redid after the fact. And I have a story to tell about that, so don't let me forget it. But this was back when I was like doing line and color underneath, and that was it basically. And I was getting really into doing characters, especially with a lot of hair. Trying to show weight. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot this image existed. So I wanted to create a series of images with one character in it. And that's why Braid Girl exists. So I put her in this piece to make it feel like, look, I'm telling a narrative. Look, she's in more than one image. And this is the design page where I came up with her design. I feel like she could have used more work, but you know, it's fine. Then I did a bunch of little fairies, and then they're succulent, but I guess I didn't ever show them together because I made these little fairies to be on the same, like in this image. You can see like I cut this out of this area. So I don't know why I didn't show them together, but oh well. Old me, you know? I'd give that advice. Like, show them together if you design them together. This is a painting of the Lion King. It was a lot of fun and one of the earliest, like, textural, colorful pieces that I did, and it definitely made me want to paint more things like this. Instead of, like, you can see the difference where it's, like, all texture and no line, and then line and color. That difference there. I had a lot of fun doing animal pages where they were all kind of shapey. But this one, you can see I was much more concerned with, like, getting anatomy kind of in there. And, I mean, it's not the worst because mice are so bloopy. But I could definitely have pushed it more with the stylization of their shapes. This is me and James at our wedding. Stylized, of course. My train or skirt was not that voluminous. I did the same thing with the pigeons. Oh, I loved the pigeons. I still love the pigeons. I think they're cute. This was a character from A Little Princess, if you have seen that movie. I was doing a project of reimagining this book, and I still love these two, but I would have added more to them, as in, like, it looks unfinished to me. Like, her eyes, I don't like just having the eyelash line. And I would probably add more colors, not necessarily detail to the dress, but maybe do, like, a soft light layer over it to give it a little more interest. The other characters. That's fun. I like this method of shape design where it's just like the same basic clothing colors and things like that. I think they even all have the same hair color, which I could have changed up, but just focusing on the shape with that. Wow, that's old. I redid this piece completely as well. Then, of course, some Harry Potter fan art. Anyways, sorry, I'm just showing you all of this to show what my portfolio used to look like. Very different. I'd say these are kind of the most similar to my stuff now, which is fun. I feel like being able to see that, like, you stuck with certain things is fun. It's funny, but this one, I really much prefer the sketch to the painting that I did of these. But that also shows you, this is back when I was working at a video game company, and it shows the influence of that painting style on me. Like, this is very much what the company wanted me to paint like, rather than what I wanted to paint like. Wow, I've forgotten so many of these pieces even existed. That's crazy. Obviously, I was in a hair phase. I love doing this one too. This was kind of my most successful mixture of painting and also using line in a way that felt very satisfying. Also, honeybees. Come on. Why isn't that everywhere? Every bee should be a honey bee, literally. So this is from 2016. And just to compare, I mean, it's not laid out the same way, but we can check out my website just to show what the work looks like now. It's very different. I'd say much more concise. So these pieces, even though they're several years apart from each other, I feel like they are much more concise in what they feel like and what they're geared towards. Many more feelings of, like, okay, in one image there's a story being told, rather than just the lady standing there with a spear with, like, no context of anything around her. That's much more like a character design thing. Whereas this is an explorer on a mission, seeing like something, glowing up here, but then in the background there are eyes watching her all around. What's gonna happen? What place is this, and how far will she get in before she realizes she's being watched? All those kind of questions. Even just simple character design like this, having the characters somewhat interacting in a way that looks like, oh, this person's walking by this person, and this one's looking after him, and, like, they're all admiring that awesome coat. Stuff like that, I think is so much more, I guess, marketable in a portfolio. So anyways, also this is, like, mocked up a little bit. Like, I wanted this to be my example of a cover for a book. So On the right, you see the design of the text and everything. And then over here is space. Just space for all the back things. And then it would have like a spine right here. So thinking about the context of your images definitely helps to market you to a specific industry. Anywho's it's what's it's galore. Ibrahim says, how do you feel about your old works? I feel good. I mean, they all got me here. I think that as with all old works, it feels like not like amazing where I'm like, oh, I love that piece. Oh, that one's so beautiful or anything like that. I'm like, oh, these could be improved. But I also give myself a little more leeway than I used to in a certain way where I used to be like, cringe. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Now I'm like, there are pros and cons. It's fine. And it also just, you evolve as an artist. You're gonna have old work. It's gonna happen. And I'm proud to have a lot of old work, which is cool because I know that there was a time in my life when I was so scared to create that I wouldn't really have much to show for my time. But once I got past that, I had a lot to show for my time, which is awesome. Robin says, during an Adobe Live event, I scrabbled together a Behance site during the stream so you could review it. I love that, Robin. And then, hey, it's just that easy. If you throw a bunch of images together, I can review it. Brittany says, oh, I was just going to ask if you ever do stream portfolio reviews. I don't make a habit of it just because I think that that might take over the streams, honestly, but I wouldn't be against it. Anthony Jackson says, somebody hired me for making characters I couldn't draw. I do agree with diversifying your skills. Yeah, I think every artist should be hired for what they make. Like, what you already make should show that you can make the thing they want you to do. Does that make sense? So that you're not surprised and they're not surprised, basically. Anthony Jackson says, very interesting works. I love it. Do you see your art style changing from then to now? Oh, yeah. Hugely. Massively. Massively. But I think that that is, you guys all said, daw, aw, aw. I think that there's no way to not have your style change. That's kind of the act of creation changes you. So every single piece is going to change how you approach the next one. Ibrahim says, how do you feel about your old work? So yeah, we talked about that. And then Brittany says, Little Princess is one of my fave movies. If we're talking about the 90s version, of course we are. Yes. It's such a great movie. Anthony Jackson says, that hair was awesome. I got to get back into my big hair days. Dark Hours says, I got a nappy nap, pals, but this has been fantastic and I'm going to have to catch the replay. See ya, Dark Hours. Thank you so much for being here. Robin says, really helpful. Cool to look back at your work. Oh, good. I'm glad that you guys find that helpful. I could find even older work because there's a blog somewhere that's very old. Alessandra says, I feel like your old art makes part of our art journey. Yeah, I mean, it's all a journey, man. I think that it's really fun to look back, but it's also it's more fun to look forward to me. I really enjoy thinking about what I will create and how much like when you see that kind of progress being made in your past, it just gives you a feeling of like what can be achieved in a short amount of time. 2016, I guess it's a fairly long time ago, but I think of it as yesterday because that's when James and I got married. So I'm like, oh yeah, it was a good year. But that's what, 6 years now. So 6 years later, and I'm creating totally different artwork for a totally different industry. I am a million times happier, I have to tell you. Making the work that I'm making now, I am just so much happier. It's not that I didn't love the work back then, but I did not love how I was hired, like in the context of the industry. I love my industry so much more now. And that is so important. I think that the happier the artist is, the better their work is going to be. So that's where I feel the best about the future is like, oh, if I like where I am now, hopefully it's just going to keep getting better and better. I'm going to write my own books and I'm going to illustrate them and it's going to be a glorious time. Also, I'd love to see your guys' old artwork. Maybe we should do an art share on the Discord. Show like a snippet of here's where I used to be, here's where I am at the current point. And maybe like even a little, hey, this is where I want to be. I feel like where I want to be is an amalgamation of so many of the artists that I follow. But also I know I'm never going to be that perfect amalgamation. What I'm going to be is what I hope to be plus me. Because there's always going to be a part of you that just sticks around. No matter what you're doing, it's just a part of you. Ibrahim says, guys, I just got my first picture book deal. What? That's amazing. I am so happy for you. Yay. Yay, Ibrahim. Oh my gosh. I hope it's a really good deal. Oh my gosh. We got to talk about this. I want to know everything. And yes, that's awesome. You deserve it. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Sorry, it's gonna take me a few minutes to get over that. The first book deal is like amazing. It's just the feeling of like ride that high, Ibrahim. Just let yourself feel all the happiness right now. It's so good. Everybody's saying congrats. Yes, yes, yes. Congratulations. Woo! Alessandra says, I used to do full body portraits. I don't think that would be allowed to post. Well, I posted full body portraits. They were done in a way that was kind of low-key and demure, so I guess Behance has allowed them, but I mean, you gotta study the figure. It's not a bad thing. The human body is a good thing. You should study it proudly. Who here did figure drawing in school at some point or just on your own? Oh, Ibrahim says, hey, thanks all. I'm so excited for you. I hope it's gonna be like, I have so much hope it's gonna be a fun project for you. Have you negotiated for it yet? Is it like all signed and sealed and delivered and all that jazz? So curious. But you don't have to say, obviously. Like, you can keep whatever bits you want to yourself, but I would love to talk to you about it. Oh my gosh, it's to the point where I can't remember what my first book was. Oh, Dinosaur. It was the T-Rex one. I got a T-Rex book as my first book, and I'm actually really happy that was my first one because it was only, I think, 6 spreads and a cover, so definitely not as much work as like a 32-page book. Whew. Anthony Jackson says, I did and still do figure drawings all the time. Yeah. That's awesome, because yeah, figure drawing is always a good thing to have in your back pocket, and we all should probably do it more. I remember when I was working at that video game studio, I would go to figure drawing every once in a while, and every single time I went, I was like, I need to do this more because I am so bad at it. Oh my gosh. And that was as an actively working artist, doing artwork daily, and still feeling like, oh man, I got so much I need to learn. I need to get better at this. I need to get over this, blah, blah, blah. Just proves, you know, you always have stuff to improve on. It doesn't matter where you are, job-wise or any of that. Even if you're hired, it's not the end of the line. Zhoop. Zhoop. Just wanted to make a straight line. Yeah, I like a thin, lighter line right on the horizon. Probably thinner than this. Alright, let's go back to a boring for a second, because we've been working on the grass, which is fun. I really actually love making textures and stuff. I think that it's mostly just having really repetitive things. Like the stars are pretty repetitive because it's the same shape again and again. Those are the most boring bits. But creating texture is something that just makes me so happy. But hey, every single person has their own part of the piece that's their most boring or least boring. Like, some people choose to do painstaking detail, and I'm like, I could never. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's my favorite part. Why would I get rid of my favorite part? Anthony Jackson says, I'm relearning how to draw hands. Oh man, yeah, hands are, again, something you can keep improving on again and again. I love learning also cartoon hands. There's so many different stylizations of fingers and things like that. Like, if you look at Atlantis, the movie, the way they do hands is so chunky and like cut off at the tips. Like, it's very squared off. Great reference to check out. Robin says, Kilo West says, the world's greatest klutz is my first. Wait, what? Oh, wait, is this your first children's book? Kilo West, the world's greatest klutz. Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. Is it Kila? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Rin says, I love texture too. Yes, yes. Agreed. Oh my gosh, so cute. Kilo West, the world's greatest klutz. Robin, there you are. Oh my gosh, cute. Oh, I love it. See, these are great, like, storytelling moments, like I said. This is great stuff. I hope it's in your portfolio. So cute. I'm gonna have to check this out. Oh, I love it. Great job, Robin. Great job. Robin says, yeah. Rocket Starfish. How did you get that nickname? Rocket Starfish. And also, Robin, have you ever been to an SEBWI conference? I'm curious. Sorry if I've asked you this and totally forgotten. My brain goes absolutely empty when I'm streaming. I guess it goes half empty. You know why? Because I'm drawing with the other half. Boop, boop. Robin says, thank you. You are very welcome. Thank you for sharing your work with the world. So good. But yeah, my picture book journey going from the T-Rex book, which was 6 spreads, to Ellie and Me, which is the one that was a Star Wars book for Galaxy's Edge. That one was 48 pages. And to go from like 12 to 13 pages to 48, whew, it was a lot, man. It was a lot. But it was also such... Hello? Hello? They're still going. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. I honestly just really loved doing that book. And I wish that I could do another really long form one. But you know, you never know. It could come along any day. And maybe the next long form one will be my one that I write. Who knows? Robin says, I think I entered that as a fake name when I first signed up for Adobe because I was annoyed with sharing my information. I forgot the circumstances. Oh my gosh. And I have not gone to one. Oh, you gotta go! Okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna meet up at a CBWI conference. You gotta go. They're so great. If you are looking into becoming a children's book, anything, just go to an SCBWI conference. I am so excited to go back someday. I haven't gone to any conferences because of COVID, and Lightbox is actually happening this next weekend, and I'm sad to miss out on that because I was there for the first one, and it was awesome. But the SCBWI conferences are just chock full of information. Like, they are nonstop. You gotta take note. Especially if you're new to the industry. It is just everything you want to learn all in one place with all the people that you want around you. And I haven't met a bad person at all They were all extremely nice and extremely welcoming. I even went solo. I really wish I had like friends in the industry that I could just go with and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to meet up with you and it'll be super comfortable. I now have a few because I went and I met people, but it would be nice to like travel down with someone too and just be like, oh yeah, we stick together. I'll tell you what, there's nothing more nerve-wracking than being at an event where like there's food and dancing and stuff like that, and you have no one that you know, and you're just kind of like wandering around hoping that somebody will say hi. Ugh, my anxiety. Ugh. But that's just, it is what it is, and it kind of teaches you to be a more outgoing person. Robin says, yes, let's meet up. Go with Rin. Rin, you ready to go? Oh, Robin says, I have to go right now. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for the tips, Anna. Of course. Thanks for asking and also for just chit-chatting. It was great talking to you. Anthony Jackson says, we all need to meet up someday. We're going to do a cross-country trip. I'm telling you. We're going to pick up everybody. We're all going to be on a bus, and then we're going to go somewhere. What do you think? Six Flags? What's the one destination that everybody could agree on? I guess Adobe Max would be the thematically good one because we're all on Behance, so it makes sense. But who knows? Wonky little star there at the edge. Okay, we're getting somewhere. That's good. It's so funny how I'm like, oh yeah, I just have to do this, this, and this, and then it'll be done. And it's like so long to actually get there. Rin says, go where? What? Let's go. Rin, we were talking about going to SCBWI, which is the Society for Children's Books Writers and Illustrators. WI, yeah. And they're just great, whatever you call it, conferences. They're great conferences with great people, but it really depends on if Rin wants to be a children's book something or other. I know Rin wants to be an artist, so it's one faction of that. Rin also says, I was looking at Adobe Max to see if they're doing shirts this year because last year's was so comfy and everyday and jammy shirt. Jammy. Just made me think of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Brittany says, where's the SCBWI conference? There are 2 of them per year, and I believe, at least this is my knowledge, everything changed in the pandemic, so like, I don't know all the up-to-date stuff, but before that, there was one in the winter in New York and one in the summer in LA. And they were both great in different ways. I'm on the West Coast, so I preferred the LA one, but it just depends on what you want. Rin says, wants to be an artist. I see. Hey, I mean, you know what I mean. You are an artist. I'm just saying. In an industry, I don't know what the industry is you want to be in. That's what I was trying to... You punk. Tara says, hey, Anna, everyone. Oh my gosh. Hello, Tara. How are you, darling? You having a good day? I hope you are. We're almost out of here, but we've got a few more minutes to work on this little Halloweeny PC. I should have worked on a new layer so we could turn it on and off and be like, ooh, ah. But alas. What the heck is that? Is that a kid crying? There's some weird sounds coming out of the outside. Oh, it's probably Bab. Bab is our neighbor's kitten who really likes to yell, especially at night. Bab sings the song of his people. Oh, Bab. Brittany says, I've only gone to one CTN years ago since I went to school for animation. Yes, I used to love CTN. That was one of the places that really opened me up to conferences in general. If you guys never went to CTN, it was the Creative Talent Network, and it was geared towards artists in many different industries. And that is now over, I believe, right? Am I correct in that, Brittany? But yeah, Lightbox kind of took the place of that a little bit. So I really liked Lightbox though. Just gonna say. Rin says Bab. So cute. And Ethan says, hello, Ethan. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Have a look around. Just tightening up some apples. Tighten up. All those apples were running out. Running out. It's true. Okay, so are these gonna have maybe like, oh, it came out of here. Look at that. Oh, oh, ooh. Oh, by the way, this is a little trick that I learned with my nieces and nephews. When we're going on car rides back to their place, one of their favorite things that we've come up with as like a little mini game is howling. So if you have any little kids in the car and you don't know how to like entertain them for the short ride, try howling. It's fun. I promise you will have a good time. And then you'll turn into a werewolf, so like bonus. Let's see here. Tara says, are you going to Lightbox this year? No, I'm not. Still not going to conferences. It's too much for me. I don't trust safety precautions if there are any. And we've honestly, as an artist on the onlines, I have seen far too many places that like conferences that say these are going to be the precautions, either like everybody's masked, everybody's vaccinated, something like that, and then the week before it happens they take some of that away and they're like, actually you don't have to wear a mask, actually you don't have to be vaccinated, all that kind of stuff. And it's just really disappointing to see happen multiple times. And it's like, okay, so an artist signs up to be at a table, pays money, puts it down, unrecoverable, and then you flip the script on them. Rude. Ren says, I am interested in children's books to some extent and would like to contribute one/some at some point, or contribute to one or some. But I'm not sure what I want my main focus to be as an artist. Exactly. You don't have to. Hey man, I don't think anybody has to, but also it is your time to just figure that stuff out. That's exactly what you're doing right now. So no rush. Brittany says, I think CTN still happens, but got way overpriced, and so Lightbox got more popular. That was one of the huge things. The first year of Lightbox was at least half the price of CTN, which is huge. Ibrahim says, there aren't any online events at Lightbox this year, right? So sad. Yeah, as far as I know. Brittany says, yeah, sadly, Lightbox isn't an online event anymore. I know, it's sad. I know why they do it, but it's also like, it was so inclusive when everybody could have some kind of piece of it online. And I wish that could be ongoing and sustainable. Tara says, yeah, that's understandable. Better safe than sorry. I'm not going either. That and money. I mean, it costs money to go places, and man, it has been a dry year. But mostly the safety precautions. I feel like it is just something that every person has to decide for themselves if it's worth it. And my big thing is not spreading it. So if I do choose to go to stuff at any point, I am just going to make it my priority to make sure that after any events, I stay away from people for like 2 weeks and make sure that I don't have anything that could spread to them. So that would be my advice if anybody is going to these things. I don't want to dissuade anybody from living their life or anything like that, but definitely play it safe for others' sake in terms of the aftercare. Not that anybody's asking for advice. Rin says, I love children's books though. So many amazing textures and wholesome images. It's like, I would like to contribute to this somehow, but I'm not sure how I would feel doing them full time. That's one of the beautiful things about, I mean, the art industry as a whole, but especially children's books, it does not have to be a full-time gig. You don't have to marry yourself to a certain lifestyle in order to get any work. It can, I mean, honestly, I finished a book in I want to say May, maybe April, and I haven't had any work for my agency till now. So sometimes you can go very large swaths of time without having anything, and that's just on their side. On the other side, you can always say no. So you could go a year without having any work if you wanted to. And that's with an agency. Without an agency, it's like even more just like you take what you want, you don't what you don't. That makes a lot of sense, right? Anthony's bouncing. Have a good night. Thanks for being here. Oh man. Rin says, I know it's possible to illustrate traditionally as well, but Adobe products / similar products seem integral to the career at this point. It really depends. I'm sure that you're getting exposure to a lot at PNCA to figure out what is the industry standard, quote unquote, or whatever. Because I think of PNCA as very traditional based. Like they'll teach you a lot about painting compared to I went to the Art Institute, which no longer exists, so it's not even an option, but they were 99% digital. Like it was expected that you would learn how to paint digitally. But yeah, I'd say in the industry, having knowledge of things is always good on both sides. I think it would be a mistake to not learn how to paint digitally or traditionally. That's just my take, though. I'm sure there are many different paths that different people can go on. Erin says software rather than products. Whoops. And Erin says, and yes, I'm talking with advisors at the moment to take classes next semester that will help me decide between painting or illustration majors. Ooh, that's exciting. Painting and illustration. I think they're fairly close in skill set, at least, so that's good. Jobs, of course, and like the end product, whatever you would call it, portfolio, I guess, would probably be fairly different. But if through the years of your schooling you ever chose or decided like, actually I really like this rather than this, then I'm sure that the skill set would apply. And that's really the biggest thing you're getting when you're learning, right? It's just you are your greatest asset. The better you make you, then the more prepared you will be for literally anything. All right. I'm gonna call it. I love these chunky stars on the apples. They're so cute. And I love her. I think she's coming along well. The dogs could still use some work. Sorry I didn't get them to a perfect state. But that's just the way it is sometimes. And then the rest of it, I feel like the grass is going to be a fun little textural experiment. We've got a good bit over here. I like this kind of area that has good texture to me. I definitely want to like add little stars and things, or sorry, not stars, flowers and things like that. And more of these kind of pattern-like quality down here of like plants that fit the area and things like that. So I'll probably do that over the texture, the base layer of texture. And then we can finish up little things like making the apples and the leaves look good. And then I think we're pretty much there. So dogs, grass, leaves, and apples. And then we're done. So I might finish this off stream. I might do another stream. Who knows? But either way, I will be back next Wednesday. Or at least I should be. What's next Wednesday? Yeah, the 19th. Should be there. On Friday of this week, which in my calendar says is the 14th. On the 14th, I will be hosting a pro tip segment, which is a half hour on Behance and a half hour on Discord afterward for any questions that you might have. And I'm going to be highlighting the Gaussian blur tool in Photoshop. So if you're ever curious about how you might use Gaussian blur, how I might use Gaussian blur, then tune in 2 p.m. Pacific and I will be there. And then we can hang out on Discord and just have a fun time. Let me check out the chat and then we can say goodbye. Rin says, I know it's difficult to decide. I want to lean more traditional and I'm not sure how they vary for client-based work. Illustration seems more focused on clients in general, but I'm not sure how painting looks on the career side. So trying to feel it out, and I can change majors as well. But I'd like to avoid if I can because art school is crazy expensive. Of course, of course. That's a great thing when you're doing this like preliminary work where you don't have to decide yet. Maybe finding people who are in the different career paths and asking them what their day-to-day life is like could help you decide. Because yeah, it's I'd say between the two careers, the biggest change is in lifestyle, not necessarily in like what you're learning to make, but much more what you're learning to apply it towards, if that makes sense. And I think it would be really important for you to have the right quality of life that you're looking for. Brittany says it's looking so beautiful. Ibrahim says, I'm loving this piece, Anna. Thank you so much. Tara says this is so cute. Pupkins and pumpkins, says Rin. Very clever. Brittany says, thanks for the stream. Tara says, OMG queen. Alessandra says, this is awesome. Hope we'll catch the pro tips. Thank you guys so much. Oh, you're so sweet. Rennie says, thank you so much for streaming and hanging out, everyone. This is very cute. Thank you, Anna, for the advice. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay. I will see you guys later. And is there anything else I should say? Until next time. Get vaccinated, get boosted, wear a mask, be kind to yourself and to others, and remember that you are loved because it's a great day and you should be having a great time. I'll see you guys next week. Bye! And now is the after party. Rin says, oh my god. Ooh, are you guys carving pumpkins? That was on the list of things that Anthony and I had as ideas for Ryan's stream, possibly carving pumpkins, but I think we're going to go a different route. Also, my apartment complex is having a pumpkin carving competition where you could win, I think it was an Amazon Fire tablet, something like that. I don't really know what that does, but cool. How would you feel if you were pitted against like 5 other people? Everybody gets a pumpkin in a room and you're timed and you have to carve a pumpkin to win a competition, an aesthetic competition. What do you think? I wonder. Ooh, Rin says we're going to a Savi Island pumpkin patch this weekend. That is awesome. Oh, Savi Island is the best. I love it, love it, love it. I wonder what pumpkin patches are out there. There are probably several. Alessandra says after party. Rin says the dorms are hosting, transporting, and paying for our pumpkins. Just what? That is awesome. Then we have a carving and brunch event the next day. I love it. Oh my gosh, what kind of pumpkin are you going to go for? Is it going to be a weird one or like a traditional one? I love the weird ones. Sometimes they're harder to carve though, so really depends. My sister's growing gourds in her backyard and they're beautiful and she's very proud. Brittany says, I only carved a pumpkin once in middle school. It was Sesshomaru. Oh my gosh, yes. Peak middle school. I love it. I want to see that. Do you have a picture? Ren says, I don't know. If I can grab a fairy tale pumpkin, I may. Oh, my mom used to grow fairy tale pumpkins all the time. Ren says, I don't know if I will carve mine. Honestly, they're beautiful just the way they are. So yeah, you do what you want. I've seen a lot of people painting pumpkins this year. Ren says, right? See, that's the thing. If you have weird pumpkins, especially, they're so pretty. They're just too pretty sometimes. So yeah, feel it out when you're there. Once Anthony and I went to a pumpkin patch out in Hillsboro and he found one that looked like a giant pickle. I kid you not, it was a giant pickle. I need to find that picture and show it to you guys. Brittany says, I'll try to find one. All right, have fun at your pumpkin patches. I want to go to one real bad, real soon. Find an apple cider donut. Yum. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Wait, real quick. Rin says, Anthony picked a peck of pickled pumpkins.